Right, it's been a little while since we have done a video taking a look at football, or soccer, over in the United States, and since we have a lot of subscribers from our friends across the pond, it seemed about time that we put that right. For any Americans watching today who are new to the channel, we have previously done videos on the best player at every MLS club last season, and a pretty blockbuster look at the best soccer player from every US state that almost killed me to research and put together, but got a lot of love from our American cousins, making it all worth it, so obviously feel free to check those out if you so wish. Today though is all about the MLS. Major League Soccer is hardly a phenomenon here in the UK, but it is broadcast on Sky Sports and Free Sports, and the start of this season has been a pretty entertaining watch for anyone who has tuned in. Today, we wanted to have a crack at putting together an all-star MLS 11 made up of the division's strongest players. Now obviously, the MLS itself does that at the end of every season with the MLS Best XI, but this is slightly different. Firstly, we're doing it at the start of the season, and secondly, whilst the MLS Best 11 is a team of the season based on who has impressed the most that season, our 11 is based on who we feel are the division's best players, although form over the last season or two will naturally be a key contributing factor. Here is our 2019 All-Star MLS 11. Goalkeeper: Zack Steffen. Between the sticks is a man who did make the 2018 MLS Best 11 and one who won't be playing in the division for much longer. 24-year-old shotstopper Zack Steffen has been with Columbus Crew since 2016, where he has since registered 78 appearances, but the 6'3" number one has already signed off on a summer move to Premier League outfit Manchester City. Historically, the US has produced better players in goal than in any other position, which some have suggested could be a consequence of more hand-based ball sports like baseball and basketball being so popular in the States. That meant we had a few decent candidates, but as an imposing figure between the sticks with smart reflexes and heaps of potential, Steffen is our number one. Right back: Graham Zusi. An MLS veteran, sporting Kansas City legend, and 55-time capped US international, Graham Zusi is 32 now, but he's still the best right back in Major League Soccer as far as we're concerned. Such a versatile footballer, the 6-time MLS All-Star can play anywhere down the right flank and has even played on the left at times. Consistent, hard-working, and possessing an occasionally devastating right-footed effort from range, Zusi is our right back. Centre back: Marcelo. As we said, we're going on ability, not just form in the MLS in the last 12 months, so despite having played just 7 games in the MLS to date, uncapped Brazilian Marcelo is our choice on the right side of centre back. Aged 29, Marcelo had spent virtually his entire professional career playing in Portugal before arriving in the MLS, most notably with Rio Ave. A well-rounded centre-back who is strong in the tackle and capable of bringing the ball out of defence. If Marcelo can overcome the language barrier and culture shock of playing in the States, he should be one of the most assured defenders in the league. Centre-back: Aaron Long. Partnering Marcelo on the left of our centre-back partnership is Aaron Long, whose performances since breaking into the New York Red Bulls first team are difficult to overlook. He may not be as gifted on the ball as Marcelo, but Long has quickly established himself as one of the most formidable centre-backs in the league, being named as the MLS Defender of the Year for 2018. It's been a pretty impressive rise, and it's one which has seen Long become a regular fixture in the USMNT. There's no way that we could leave him out of our 11. Left back: Kemar Lawrence. The toughest decision in this 11 so far comes at left back between Kemar Lawrence and Edgar Castillo. Both are adventurous fullbacks who love to get forward, but our choice just is Kemar Lawrence. Capped 45 times by Jamaica at the age of 26, Lawrence joined New York Red Bulls in 2015, having previously played for Harbour View in Kingston. Since then, Lawrence has made a big impression in the MLS. Quick, feisty, and tireless, Lawrence can be a real asset defensively and offensively, and he deservedly made the 2018 MLS Best 11. Defensive midfield: Michael Bradley. We've got a pretty attack-minded starting 11, so there's going to be a lot of weight placed on the shoulders of our midfield pivot. Fortunately, our holding midfielder has bags of experience and is still one of the outstanding players in the division as far as we're concerned. Michael Bradley is one of only a handful of Americans to have enjoyed regular first-team football with a couple of very good European clubs, namely Borussia Mönchengladbach and Roma. He returned to the MLS following a 9-year absence in 2014, signing for Toronto FC in a deal worth $10 million. Reportedly the third highest paid player in the MLS, Bradley is there to be shot at in terms of his reputation and salary, but we think he's still the most talented and dependable central or holding midfield player in the league. Right wing, Carlos Vela. Out on the right flank is the man we consider to be the best player in the MLS right now. There's certainly no lack of competition, but Vela arrived in the MLS having been very good for Real Sociedad in La Liga, and what's more, he didn't do so with just a couple of years left in the tank. Vela only recently turned 30, and the Mexican international is playing some of the best football of his career right now. Bright, inventive, and really good on the ball, Vela is among the most dangerous players in the division if he's allowed to cut in field onto his favourite left foot. As of yet, few teams have managed to stop him doing just that, and the former Arsenal man has to be the early favourite for the 2019 MVP award, with 8 goals in 7 games from the right flank so far this season. Left wing, Ignacio Piarte. On the opposite flank, unlike Vela, Ignacio Piarte, by all rules and typical understandings of the game, ought to be winding down his career now, aged 34. However, the Argentine playmaker shows no signs of letting up, currently in his 5th full season in the MLS. Really versatile, but primarily a left winger, Piarte is a wonderful technician and dribbler of the ball with an eye for a pass and a wicked delivery into the box. He has averaged better than a goal every other game since signing for Montreal Impact, as well as being one of the most creative players in the division, and he has been the club's MVP for every one of his full seasons there, making the MLS Best 11 twice and the MLS All-Star 11 3 times. Attacking midfield, Darwin Quintero. As I have said, we consider Carlos Vela to be the best player in the MLS right now, but on his day, there may be no one finer than this man. An explosive attacking midfielder or striker, we think Quintero looks best just in behind a centre forward, where he can use his pace to make devastating runs in behind. He joined MLS New Boys Minnesota United as the club's first designated player in 2018, having previously enjoyed success in Colombia and Mexico. Capped 14 times by Colombia, Quintero has since bagged 14 goals in 33 games as Minnesota's, and one of the division's, star players. He's a joy to watch at times, and we had to find a place for him in our 11. Centre forward, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, before we continue, I should point out that the nature of the MLS means there is far more quality at our disposal in attacking areas. That's because MLS teams are only allowed a maximum of 3 designated players. In theory, and often in practice, designated players ought to be the star men in their respective teams, and since the vast majority are attacking players, there is more strength in attacking areas for us. I should also point out that once done with our 11, we will have a substitutes bench which will probably mention some of those players that you can't believe haven't featured right now. Okay, so the first of our 2 centre forwards is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Aged 37, Ibrahimovic has succeeded just about wherever he has gone, in terms of goal scoring at least, and even at the ripe old age of 37, there have been no exceptions with LA Galaxy. Having scored 22 goals in 27 games last season, the big Swede has bagged 7 in 5 so far this term. Still so strong and acrobatic, a goal-scoring record like that makes it hard to overlook him. Centre forward, Wayne Rooney. A strike partnership that never really flourished at Manchester United, one suspects it would be rather different in the MLS. Wayne Rooney has been a different player since signing for DC United and looks to be enjoying his football again. At one time one of the best forwards in the world, Rooney always played with a fight and aggression during his peak years, and he appears to have regained some of that bite in the American capital. He took DC United from the foot of the table to MLS Cup contenders in 2018, making the MLS Best XI as the club's captain, and he's backed that up with 4 goals in 6 games in the early stages of this season. Substitutes. When putting together a single 11 from an entire division, there are always going to be notable omissions, unhappy fans of teams whose players didn't make the cut, and disagreements in the comments. Hopefully going some way towards rectifying that is our substitutes bench, which we tend to include for these types of videos. As second choice goalkeeper, we're going for Seattle Sounders star Stefan Frei over the likes of Brad Guzan. Frei has been excellent since signing for Seattle in 2014, but particularly impressive over the last 2 to 3 years. Our backup centre-back may seem like an unusual choice, and it's harsh on the likes of Matt Besler and Walker Zimmerman, who miss out, but we're going with Bastian Schweinsteiger. A World Cup winner in 2014, Schweinsteiger arrived in the MLS after a disappointing stint at Manchester United. Physically, it's clear to see that the German's best years are behind him, but he may just have prolonged his career by finding a new role for himself at centre-back with Chicago Fire. We wanted him on our bench not just because of his pedigree and understanding of the game, but also that versatility. Bacary Sagna could also stake a claim on the bench, but ultimately we're going for Edgar Castillo, who can consider himself unfortunate to have missed out on a starting berth. Next up is a teammate of Wayne Rooney's at DC United, namely Argentine star Luciano Acosta. A quick, diminutive and creative attacking midfielder, Acosta is already a star of the MLS, but he has plenty of room to improve, aged 24. He's joined on the bench by another player we like a lot, Diego Valeri. We've talked about the Portland Timbers star before in the past, but the 32-year-old is among the most measured and intelligent players in the league, and he can play through the middle or out wide on either flank. We've a pure wide man up next with recent MLS recruit Nani. A European champion with Portugal almost 3 years ago, Nani is hardly over the hill, aged 32, and the early signs suggest he could be a big player for Orlando City. Last, but by no means least, Josef Martinez has every right to feel aggrieved to have not made our first 11. A record of 60 goals in 71 games since signing for Atlanta United is quite remarkable, and aged 25, the Venezuelan may well get another chance at making it big in Europe in the future if he fancies it. So that's it for our All-Star 2019 MLS 11. To recap, our 11 from back to front reads Zack Steffen, Graham Zusi, Marcelo, Aaron Long, Kemal Lawrence, Michael Bradley, Carlos Vela, Ignacio Piarte, Darwin Quintero, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and Wayne Rooney, with a bench of Stefan Frei, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Edgar Castillo, Luciano Acosta, Diego Valeri, Nani, and Josef Martinez. In terms of those who missed out on both the starting 11 and the bench, we'd probably have to give quick mentions to Raul Ruidiaz, Jonathan Dos Santos, Gonzalo Martinez, Nicolas Lodeiro, Matt Besler, Walker Zimmerman, and Bacary Sagna. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for HITC Sevens if you'd like to know about any future videos from us.